I felt like something was wrong with me that I didn't have this YouTube mom-worthy cleaning routine. Am I weird? Progress over perfection. That is just way too much for me. Well, hey friends, so glad you stopped by to hang out with me today to do some decluttering. Recently, I've been talking about the magic of 5 minutes. I find myself setting 5-minute timers for all sorts of things, but today we're focusing specifically on decluttering tasks that can be done in 5 minutes or less. I have 5 of these decluttering tasks to share with you. You're gonna come along with me while I do some of this decluttering, and along the way, I'm gonna be sharing more with you about what I've learned about 5 minutes, how it actually affects more than just the task at hand, and how it can be really helpful for you if you're feeling overwhelmed in your home. If you're new here, then hi, my name is Natalie, and I love sharing videos about cozy, simple living. And if you're looking for some encouragement or some gentle motivation, then you're in the right place. I share that sort of thing here weekly. I would love it so much if you would subscribe if you like what you see. Today, we're starting here in the kitchen with the magic of 5 minutes. Before I actually started filming this video, I used that whole magical 5-minute timer just to tidy stuff up, to clean it up, and man, what a difference 5 minutes makes. And I am hoping that it can make a difference here in this drawer that I have underneath our microwave. We call this the snack drawer. It's the drawer that the kids access, and it is needing some help. So here's something that I've learned about our current stage, our current needs of decluttering. A lot of what we are processing through and getting rid of in our home are empty packages. And so inevitably we end up with, you know, the bag of beef sticks or little fruit bars or crackers or whatever that just need to be processed through and taken out. This is something that we're working with our kids on right now in this season. They are old enough to do a little bit more when it comes to the personal responsibility of managing packages of stuff that we've eaten through and then just throwing them back. But I, as the responsible adult, as well as my husband, we both do the same thing. We need to be better about setting that example for our kids. So sometimes decluttering reveals a lot about where your pitfalls are and what your habits are looking like. And we all could do a better job of getting this stuff processed through more in the moment rather than waiting for like a decluttering session to take care of it. But that's okay. We have grace with ourselves. We have grace with our kids. We're all learning. But knowing that I can take care of a whole drawer in my home in 5 minutes really goes a long way in my mind to basically, I don't like to say the word forcing myself because that doesn't sound very gentle. Tricking myself also sounds a little bit sinister, but it's kind of like a trick. It kind of tricks my brain into thinking, this is manageable. I can do this. This is no big deal. Look at that. I still have 1:40 left. And this is done. And I even got to vacuum it out. This snack drawer was definitely starting to look more like a sweets drawer after the holidays, but I have fixed that. The only sweets we have in here now are those Smart Sweets in here. That's a better option for our family. And we have crackers and beef sticks. And this also shows me in a really quick way what it is that we need. Like if there's anything that we're lacking. We like those little, that's it, fruit snack bars. So I need to add that to my next Thrive Market order. But let's move out of the kitchen and into another area that has some drawers that need to be taken care of. Welcome to our schoolroom. We sit at our dining room table to do school, and this is where we keep our bins that are kind of grab and go for daily work. These are only supposed to have like very basics in them, your pencil, as well as their daily curriculum books, and maybe 1 or 2 other things. We literally just have a pile of, I see Lego magazines, coloring pages, like printable school pages that have already been worked on. So I am just gonna go through everything here. And while I'm doing this, I'll have a little chat with you guys about how I navigate paper clutter that kids make, because this can be a really tricky subject. By far the cutest clutter that we have in our house is the paper clutter that my kids make. Their drawings and doodles and little art projects and stuff like that, which is why I believe this category can definitely be a tricky one when we're doing decluttering throughout our house. We feel sentimental, but something that has helped lessen the mom guilt of moving on from little scraps of paper and random doodles and drawings is to think of coloring as a verb, or to think of any sort of like art project or painting or whatever as a verb. So I'm thinking of it as an act, the act of being creative, the act of spending time together working on a project, versus thinking of it as a noun, a thing, a physical object that takes up space in a drawer and gets forgotten about within a couple of days or weeks. Now, we of course save the things that mean the most, that have significance to my kids. I let them choose what they want to keep. I keep things that are particularly sentimental to me. We have keepsake bins, and some of these things end up in there. But most of the time, it's that verb sort of situation where the drawing or the coloring or the painting has actually fulfilled its ultimate purpose in the moment that it was created. And so I'm able to, without guilt, move on from those things. We can recycle them. We actually have a drawer in the bottom of this drawer unit to my left here in this video, where we just keep scraps of paper that still have life left in them that we could continue to draw on or use for a different project. We've got construction paper and random bits in there that we pull from and repurpose down the road. I talked more about this whole issue of kids paper clutter, as well as how I navigate paper clutter throughout my whole house, in a video that I made a couple of years ago. So I will link that one in the description box for you guys. Okay, this task is done, but this space is not perfect. And I think this is another hang up that we get stuck on, is thinking that at the end of a decluttering project that the space has to look sparkly and shiny and perfect. I shared recently that my mantra for this year is progress over perfection. I made some serious progress in this room today by going through these drawers. This was so worthwhile. This actually makes me look forward to doing homeschooling with them tomorrow morning. That is such a win, and it took me less than 5 minutes to give myself that feeling. Okay, where else can I give myself this feeling? Let's see, what's next on my list? The shoe cabinet. Okay. Okay, here we are at the front door, and we have this sort of built-in kind of cabinet thing that also has a bench and apparently one of my Birkenstocks on it. This is called a hall tree, and right now it's a bit of a hot mess. We just have random things in here that the kids just kind of shove in here. You may have noticed that 3 out of 5 of these spots here really pertain a lot to my kids. Well, I'm a mom and I keep it real, and these are the hot spots around my house that need decluttering today. But you don't have to have kids to have a snack drawer, or maybe your home office has some drawers that need to be sort of gone through, like our school drawers were, and everyone wears shoes, right? Unless I've missed some sort of hipster thing that people no longer wear shoes. We all wear shoes, and this is what needs to be taken care of next. So I'm gonna put 5 minutes on my timer here, and I'm going to get started. Okay, so right off the bat, these boots, they go in the boot bin. Like, we have a mud bin right outside our front door on the front porch. So these don't even belong inside the house at all. Those will go out. I often find Haley's shoes in these cubbies when actually this is her drawer with a wrapper to something in it. Oh my goodness. So she is actually lacking in shoes right now. She has this one pair, and then the pair that she's wearing at a friend's house right now. And then also she has her outside boots. And then we have this drawer, which we keep gloves in. I saw one over here. There's a glove. This is a glove, but this isn't the sort of glove that goes in this drawer. This goes in the boys' room. They have these boxing gloves that they play with. So I'll take that over there when I head down the hall. There's my other Birkenstock. There we go. Okay. Got this new pair of shoes for the boys, but it's already too small for them. So it's brand new with tags. I'm going to take that one back. I'm gonna put that in my little return bundle. One of Weston's shoes. Weston and I don't even keep our shoes in this cabinet. Oh, here's a pair of Natalie's ballet shoes. And the boys are each wearing a pair of shoes right now at their friend's house. So it's looking, it's looking pretty empty now that I did that, and there's literally nothing in there. So, man, that didn't even take half the time. Didn't even take half the 5 minutes, but I'm going to go through and finish this project by taking everything where it goes. And I have enough time on the timer to do that. I think I even have time to vacuum up the grime. To listen to the timer on this one, because once I start vacuuming, I could just keep going. Something great about these 5-minute chunks of time, I feel brave enough to start, and then once that 5 minutes has passed, I sometimes realize that I can just keep going, and sometimes I end up losing track of time and I get a lot accomplished. Because I'm filming this video for you guys, I am staying on track with making it through these different decluttering projects, but I could easily just keep going with you know, vacuuming my whole living room or cleaning out what I see underneath the TV console, which I'm actually going to save that for next week's video. I should have probably actually saved this project for next week's video. I'm doing a messy to minimal living room declutter, and I'm actually taking a look at what my first living room declutter video looked like 3 years ago. It's that messy to minimal then and now series that I've been doing, so stay tuned for that. I've got some plans for this living room, and it's decluttering and organization. That's for next week. I'm gonna stay on task here. Something here that I'm seeing that needs to be decluttered, that's a quick task, is my purse. And I'm also gonna grab my little go bag that I take with me if I need to bring some more stuff along the way. Let me show you. So growing up, I remember my grandma Judy would always carry the biggest purse. It was always so heavy. She herself named it the bowling ball bag, and I remember being a little kid and I could barely lift it, and she always slung it over her shoulder. She was a bit of a coin collector, so that was part of it. She always had 2 kinds of gum, mint and juicy fruit, something for the adults, something for the kids. She had a whole set of makeup that she would bring along with her, along with who knows what else. And it was kind of the era too. A lot of people had really big purses, but me, her granddaughter, I am the total opposite and have been for many, many years. I always bring just a small purse because I know if I have a bigger bag, it's just going to get full. There's definitely a few things in here that need to be decluttered out, because that's how it goes, but I'm also going to be, in the next 5 minutes, working on sort of my tote bag that I'll throw my laptop in here, I throw my Bible in here, and snacks for the kids when we go out or go to church. But just a quick glance into this tote and I can see all sorts of stuff that just does not belong in there or need to be in there. So I'm gonna work on my purse first, start out with a small win before I move on to the bigger, more daunting task. So that's fine. Something, you just have to apply it. Or it's the same thing with deodorant for me. Like if I find it while I'm decluttering, I have to apply it. I don't know, it's this compulsion. Same thing, if I find a hair tie, I just like feel so compelled to just pull my hair back. Am I weird? I might very well be. What I do know is that I am feeling much lighter in mood than I was before I started any of these quick decluttering projects, and that is just where the magic is for me. I love that I know I can turn my mood around in just 5 minutes or less. As you've seen, like all of these decluttering projects that I've done, I have been able to finish before that timer goes off. Sometimes I'm just like 2 or 3 minutes away from feeling so much better, and it's just those small wins that build confidence over time. The benefit of the cleaned out purse or the organized shoe cabinet, it is great, and it really helps me with anxiety and with peace of mind, and just in the day-to-day, just like the physical act of leaving my house, grabbing my purse and knowing that what's in it is exactly what I need and nothing more. Haley has ballet later tonight, and we bring the tote with us, and I put her water bottle and a little snack and her gear and stuff in there, and I know that not having to rifle through things will ease the process of going out the door or helping her get to ballet. But the bigger thing for me than the benefit of that specific space being cleaned or that snack drawer being cleaned out, the bigger benefit is how I now view myself in this home. It can be really easy, especially in an age of social media, to compare ourselves to others. So I'm not advocating for that, because you have enough of that sort of message being screamed at you on a daily basis. Just open up Instagram and tell me how you feel. But even if it's on a subconscious level, we're always thinking of ourselves. And that's not necessarily a selfish or a vain thing, but we have a sort of self-image that is a narrative in our heads. And before I did any of this, I can easily fall into thinking, man, I'm lazy. Oh, I need to get this done. I need to get that done. And this sort of burden of stuff, this burden of clutter starts to kind of pile on me. At least that's how it feels. And again, this is all up here. This is what our brains are telling us. And there's like this sort of running to-do list. I think, was it Dawn from the Minimal Mom? She calls it the silent to-do list, but I actually think she got that term from somewhere else. I always want to credit people if I've heard an idea somewhere else. I'm not sure exactly where this idea started, but this silent to-do list where everything in your home is sending you a message, and it's either, I am in my place, or I am out of place, I am out of control, why don't you take care of me, why don't you fit me anymore, why don't you use me anymore? And it can scream this message that really makes our self-confidence and our self-image tank. The biggest benefit for me, where the magic is with the 5-minute declutter, isn't necessarily that I get the task done. That's great, and it has its own benefits. It's the benefit of knowing that I am capable of doing it, and it doesn't have to take that much time. When that drawer is decluttered, when my purse is tidy, I believe that I'm a tidy person, and that goes so far for me and my mood and my brain and how I relate to the people in my home. So I would encourage you to do yourself a favor and get on up and pick one thing to spend 5 minutes on. I have one more task left. It's the one I'm dreading the most, but I have 4 other wins that I just spent the last 25-30 minutes doing with you guys that tell me that I am capable of getting this next project done. Let's go clean off the top of my washer and dryer. that laundry room is taken care of, and I actually got a load of laundry going, which feels great. More often than not, these little 5-minute decluttering sessions roll over into other tasks, and I'm not like scheduling my day out in 5-minute increments or blocks of time. That is just way too much for me. But this 5-minute chunk of time sounds like enough to get something done, but not more than what I have like the mental energy for. And this sort of situation, like any other advice that I give, tailor it to you. Maybe 5 minutes just simply isn't enough. My kitchen these days, if I want to go from totally messy to completely wiped down, detailed, and swept, that takes me 7 minutes, around there, barring any interruptions from kids, which pretty much always happens. But I can go through my little purse in like a minute and a half. So different things take different blocks of time. 5 minutes is kind of that great middle ground for me. And I hope you'll give it a try if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed and like your house is just like this insurmountable task of decluttering and getting through the clutter. Honestly, if I could go back and give myself any advice 3 years ago when I was just starting out, it would be that it is not all or nothing when it comes to a decluttering project. If I gave myself, or if someone else gave me permission to only spend small chunks of time chipping away at it, I would have learned this magical lesson way sooner than I ended up learning it. And it actually wasn't until I had spent hours or like a whole weekend working on a decluttering project and feeling really burnt out by it that I realized, man, the secret sauce here is just like these daily little maintenance declutters. I did 5 today, so let's say about a half an hour's worth, give or take a couple of minutes, but I could spread that out across a work week and do 1 5-minute task per day, and at the end of the week still be in the same position. So tailor this to you. I hear from so many of you that, oh, I'm just too busy to declutter, or I'm a mom, or I homeschool, or I work outside of the home. But everyone has 5 minutes a day to spend doing a small task. You might realize just how much time you end up having. And then I shared this in a previous video, but I think it's worth repeating if you didn't see that video. The tasks that you do and how they chip away or like build up over time, they affect your space in such a way that all of these things around you, like the cleaning tasks or the cooking for your children or the homeschooling or running a business or going to work, having less stuff in your house makes all of the things that you do in that house so much easier to do. Cleaning used to take me forever. And I felt like something was wrong with me that I didn't have this YouTube mom-worthy cleaning routine. The problem wasn't the fact that I didn't have a routine. It was that I was shoving stuff around in order to try to get my house clean, and that created so much more work. It took so much more effort from me on my part. And when I started to take that inventory down in my house in big chunks or in those little 5-minute declutters at a time, it's like the cleaning just started to take care of itself. And the idea of getting up and scrubbing a toilet or putting the dishes into the dishwasher no longer felt like this insurmountable task. So I hope that's an encouragement to you. I still have a lot of learning to do, especially as life changes and as kids get older. Every season of my decluttering or minimalism journey, simple living journey, whatever you want to call it, has changed and evolved and flexed a little bit, and I'm just kind of here for the ride. And I'm glad that you guys are here for the ride as well. I've really enjoyed documenting this journey and will continue to do so, and it's such a blessing to have you along for it. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already, and be sure to turn that bell button on to all notifications so you don't miss next week's messy to minimal living room declutter that I'm gonna do, or any of the other videos that I come out with in the future. Thanks so much for spending a little part of your day here with me on my channel, and I'll catch you later.